Hello there. Hey guys, so this right here is the Waypoint soft shell jacket from Massif. Now it is a non-FR offering that they have. I gotta say that it is very similar to the Elements jacket, which is what we've all just called the Massif jacket for years, because we've been also mispronouncing Massif for years. The similarities are pretty notable. However, there are a few extra features on this jacket which I really enjoy. But just because we're also familiar with this jacket right here, I will do a little bit of like, side-by-side comparison. That way it kind of gives you guys a better idea of what we're looking at. Stick around. Okay, so the Waypoint soft shell jacket. Now, when I'm comparing this right here to the Elements jacket, you'll notice that for the most part, it is extremely similar as far as like layout, with a few like extra like features. Biggest one is going to be, so once again, this here is a non-FR offering, so non-flame resistant. Typically, when we're thinking of like, Massif, whether that be the Elements jacket, the combat shirts, the pants, we are going for those FR properties. This in here, like, does not have that, because if you don't need it, hey, that's fine. So the inside here is going to be 100% like polyester. If you're a dirtbag like me and you don't always wear your uniform blouse underneath the jacket, this right here is extremely comfortable. Really like that material. The outside of this jacket though is where this here like kind of like shines. So you have the wind stopper material. It's got a little bit of like a stretch that's to it, but this here is 100% windproof and almost entirely like waterproof. So down here in South Georgia, been here for the last like 8 years. So we get these really nasty like winters to where, well, it's not extremely cold. You get that kind of like nasty, humid wind that kind of tries to rip through you. So on nice days this winter, I'd wear my the Strato low loft jacket from Massif. Really love that jacket. But when it's kind of crappy out, I throw this one right here on. Said the wind was not biting through this right here at all. I felt kind of awful because my top was nice and toasty, but my legs were absolutely like freezing. It was just ripping right through my uniform pants. So I said, great jacket. It works extremely well. When we're looking at like the sort of like pocket like layout, just like the Elements jacket, we do have the outside opening zipper pocket that's up here on the chest. Would have been nice if they had included one on the other side as well, but I said no big deal. But if anybody who's worn a plate carrier and you have pockets that are either opening from like the top or from like the inside, you can never get to them. I think most jackets, most uniform like tops that you're gonna be wearing with a armor should have a feature like this. The pockets that are actually for your hands, something to note about this is this right here is almost double the length of the actual Elements jacket. Let me grab that for you real quick, just kind of give you a little side by side here. So you can see it here's almost like double like the length. One thing about the Elements jacket, sometimes even if your plate carrier sits a little like high up, it's sometimes kind of hard to get your hands inside here. And if you do have something that's actually inside here, like a pair of like gloves, you have difficulty kind of like trying to reach in with like your armor in the way and trying to pull that stuff like out. With this jacket, just because they did sort of like, increase this right here, the size of this, I did not have any issues like with that. And of course it does have that polyester material on the inside of here as well. So it's very nice. I'm really glad they kind of like did that. Something I really like about this jacket though is going to be over here on the sides. So you have the dual opening zipper, so you can open it from the top down, get some nice venting that's like going on. Works, but this right here is my favorite part, where you can actually open it up like on the bottom. So I think most of us, if you're wearing a jacket, you've also got like a pistol. We've kind of gone away from the very low hanging Han Solo holsters that we were wearing like, about 20 like years ago. So a little bit higher up, and a jacket sometimes kind of like gets in the way of like your draw. It is interfering with your pistol. So what you do is you open this right here like up. And of course, on either side, you have the tabs here, so you can go ahead and tighten up the back portion here. And then you don't have to worry about it, right? So it really kept it like out of the way. I didn't have any issues with actually trying to get to my sidearm. And I'll say that this right here is definitely one of those things that if you are carrying a pistol and you have a jacket that doesn't have this feature, if you've used a jacket like this that has this feature, you will definitely miss it. Both of the sleeves have the sleeve pockets. The Elements jacket, of course, only has like the one, so I'm glad that they included them on both sleeves. What I really like though is definitely going to be they didn't throw Velcro over the pin pockets. So I've used these right here for pins, markers. I've put Kim lights like in them. If you've ever used the Elements jacket, you guys will Of course, I can remember, said even on the ABSG version, so the digital tiger stripe jacket that I was using in 2009 when I first got that issued, sometimes this right here is just a little bit annoying to get like open. So while they've kind of like, I want to say slimmed this here down, it used to be this huge massive sheet that just, would like rip off. These right here were like a little bit like smaller. You can kind of see like, once again, like the size difference here. So they removed that. A little bit larger, a little bit easier to get to. I haven't had anything like, fall out of it, but I understand that just because it is a little bit like larger, if you stick like a Kim light in it and you start waving your hands like in the air without that covering, it might fall out. So I haven't had that happen to me yet, but something to note. All right, guys, so that's really all I have to say about like this jacket, okay? Said it's extremely comfortable. It works very, very, very well for the high winds, especially those nasty cold like winds. So once again, it's like I have not been anywhere super cold since it snowed in Kabul in 2011. That's probably the last time I actually saw snow. So if you guys are, northern tier bases, station where it snows a lot, I don't know how this right here would like, hold up, but I can say that at least like, for down like where I'm at, this right here like works extremely well. So hope this right here like, helps. If you guys have any questions about like this jacket or anything about like, how your squadron can go about like ordering these things, hit me up. So once again, here for y'all. Later.